Nidhanam of Kailasonati Shyamlapita Sarvanyapitam of Madurai. In the year 2013, on the 12th of February, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Mahamandaleshwar of the Mahanirvani Akhada, which is the largest apex monastic order. A year later, on the 27th of December 2013, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, which is the head of all spiritual leaders of the Atal Akhada, which is the ancient apex body of Hinduism. In the year 2014, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasanidhanam of Tanjavur Adinam, of Tiruvarur Adinam, of Panchanadikulam Adinam, and of Vedaranyam Adinam. All four the ancient Sampradayas, the ancient Sarvanya Pitams. So the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was inducted the successor and the head to revive and bring back its authenticity. In the year 2015, on the 30th of January, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of more than 1,000 Hindu pontiffs, Hindu leaders. In the year 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the present 23rd Guru Mahasanidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargapuram Adinam in the year July 2015. On September 14th, 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasanidhanam of Adipita Kolavamat. In 2017, 28th of June, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism revived the Surivamshi Chola Samrajya, Chola Sarvanyapitam. Here we have the glimpses of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism conducting the mass living enlightenment initiation conventions since the year 2005, and we can see here glimpses of these mass living enlightenment initiations which took place and was conducted all across the globe, in many parts of North America, in Canada, in various parts of Europe, and London as well. Here we have the glimpses of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiating thousands into the Mass Living Enlightenment, which is the Mass Living Enlightenment program during the Kumbh Mela festival, which is one of the world's largest celebrated festivals in Nasik, and the Kumbh Mela in Ujjain as well. The purpose of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on planet Earth is to bring back the timeless Hindu Sanatana Dharma through the establishment of the United States of Kailasa, a Hindu nation focused on safeguarding and reviving Hinduism, the world's oldest, peaceful, enduring representation of harmonious coexistence. Kailasa is the first nation for Hindus, a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation, whose vision is living enlightenment for all of humanity. Kailasa's mission is to revive and share the practical applications of Hinduism's greater sciences, including Hindu cosmic physics, the alchemy science, cosmology, biology, mathematics, and the power manifestation science as revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. These sciences were practiced freely in 56 nations, but are now endangered due to the persecution which has happened over a millennium. Here we can see one of the greatest milestones in the history of Kailasa, as well as the United Nations recognition of Kailasa in the international forum. Kailasa, the first nation of Hindus, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, spoke on behalf of the 2 billion global Hindu diaspora at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. A significant milestone in the history of Hindus and the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa happened on the 2nd of December 2021. His Excellency Sri Nithyananda, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Kailasa, represented the persecution of Hindus at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. The theme of the forum was conflict prevention and protection of Hindu rights of minorities. This was the first time the plight of persecuted Hindus was addressed and brought in front of the International Forum. The ongoing, systematic, and generational attacks on Hindus were highlighted as a part of this meeting. We are now looking at the various initiatives started by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations, the 108 different initiatives to support the humanitarian services for an enlightened, peaceful, sustainable, equitable, resilient, and thriving world. Here we have the No Hungry Home project offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for nutritious food and a hunger-free world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has served more than 1 billion meals over the past 27 years. Kailasa has organized over 3 million monthly Annadan services for 27 years, serving 1 billion meals in total. Daily 10,000 meals are served for free, and this number goes up to 100,000 on festival days. All of these meals are served to everyone who comes, everyone who gathers, free without any discrimination. We also have the Nithyananda Hindu University, offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for education reform and development. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Hindu University, the world's largest Hindu university, which has more than 20 million enrollments, 7,000 free courses, and extended campuses in over 150 countries. Next, we have the Nithyananda Gurukul, offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for education reform and development. On the 2nd of October 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism inaugurated which is the revival of the ancient Adishaivite Guru-disciple education system, an authentic knowledge transmission system based on enlightenment. Here we have the Nithyananda Jnanalaya, offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for the protection of Hindu scriptures. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Hindu Jnanalaya with over 1 million Hindu scriptures, 1 million palm leaf scriptures, and more than 20 million digital books. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also offering the Hinduismpedia for the protection of Hindu scriptures. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has collected over 15 terabyte of digital books, rare manuscripts from 19 Sarvanyapitams, ancient muds, and ashrams. The collection includes 1 million pages on Hinduism, 22,000 digital books, 1,000 e-textbooks, and more than 100,000 articles on various topics in Hinduism. Here we can see the Nithyananda, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, personally authoring more than 1,000 books in 3 different languages, which have been translated into 50 other different languages, published 10,000 articles, and has given 10,000 hours of free discourses with a combined view of more than 1 billion. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is respected as the only commentator of the Prasthana 3. The Prasthana 3 are the 3 major source books of Hinduism, which are the Bhagavad Gita, the Brahma Sutras, and the Upanishads. Here we have the Confluences for World Peace, which are offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for global peace and religious harmony. In the year 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a month-long peace walk through 1,000 villages to promote unity, feeling connection, and oneness among people. Health camps are also held during the walk, during the peace walk. And you can see here in the photos the thousands and thousands of people who have gathered for the peace walk in the various places in India. Here we have the women empowerment programs offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for feminine empowerment and gender equality. Kailasa's Yogini Sarvanya aims to improve the quality of life by promoting Vedic and Agamic life solutions for rural and indigenous women, addressing issues of gender stereotyping, violence, and unequal learning opportunities. Some of these other initiatives of women empowerment programs by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations include the Kailasa's Nithyananda Lakshmi project, which is a microfinancing service, Kailasa's Women Foundation and Women Empowerment Self-Help Centers, launched in 108 places since its initiation around the world in 2009. We also have Kailasa's Ankita program, which is the providing of foundational literacy about the working of basic community services and infrastructural environments, as well as Kailasa's Ashriya program, providing vocational training programs to rural and indigenous women to provide equal opportunities and access to independent, self-sufficient financial environments to all of them. These are some of the major initiatives taken by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for feminine empowerment. Apart from all of this, during the pandemic, a global event which shook the world and created a lot of anxiety, of insecurity, of fear in all of us, in the whole world, in fact. But it was only the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who offered a safe place for everyone, who gave, opened up, and created a safe haven for everyone to stay and to be safe during this crisis moments. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism created the multi-quarantine facilities, converting the facilities and monasteries into multi-layer quarantine facilities, open and free to all people regardless of differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, and social economic status. All these facilities include food, shelter, internet, and free medical care provided for everyone free of charge. Here we are looking at the Nithyananda Yoga offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for yoga. These kriyas, known as the Nithyananda kriyas, are a combination of ancient yoga, meditation, and pranayama techniques. They are aimed to provide holistic health and wellness to individuals and have been validated through scientific research studies and have been shown to heal multiple diseases and disorders. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also the reviver of the ancient traditional forms of yoga. The Shivastambha Yoga and Kundalini Rajju Yoga are two ancient forms of yoga that have been revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. They focus on using postures and weight balancing techniques to align the body to the cosmic geometry and manifest superconscious powers. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has received 2 Guinness World Records for holding the largest rope yoga, which is the Kundalini Rajju Yoga, and largest pole yoga, Shivastambha Yoga sessions, attracting global recognition for these unique forms of yoga. Here we have one of the important projects of Kailasa, which is Kailasa's Ishanya project, recycling for poverty eradication and sustainable environments. Kailasa provides humanitarian assistance through Kailasa provides humanitarian assistance throughout the networks of ecosystems across the world as an effort to provide the basic needs for all 8 billion people on the planet Earth. Kailasa, being the largest distributor of free food material, have continued its efforts in providing free meals, shipping out, donating clothes, medical supplies, and limited resources to countries across the globe. Over the last 27 years, Kailasa has built a network of entities and partnerships in 140 countries around the world, leveraging these networks to collect clothing, medical supplies, equipments, and food material, and transport and distribute to countries and regions in need. Transportation and distribution expenses were sponsored by the Kailasa Nation. Here we have Kailasa's digital media initiatives, where all of you are viewing and enjoying the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, enjoying the various activities of Kailasa through digital means. Through Kailasa's digital media initiatives, more than 1 billion lives have been enriched worldwide. This Kailasa's digital media initiatives has more than 11,514 digital media assets, 53 social media and web platforms in 108 languages, and spread across all the 120 regions of the world. These platforms include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Medium, Pinterest, Tumblr, Blogger, and so on. We also have Kailasa's Google Project, initiative by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for a Hindu-centric online ecosystem aiming to cater to all the needs of Hindus around the world. The platform has been designed and built to address the needs of the entire worldwide Hindu community. Here you can see the Google website as well as the various offerings and social media platforms of the Google project. An authentic, as per Hindu scriptures, extensive amount of information with a complete coverage of the world, of the Hindu world. And you can see here screenshots of the various Google projects being done by Kailasa and by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here you can see the various different social media platforms by Google, includes Google Click, Google Photos, and Google Quikr. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has already opened up Kailasa to everyone around the world as e-citizen. Kailasa's e-citizen is offered by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for those who want to experience Kailasa. If you cannot come to Kailasa, Kailasa will come to you. This is the vision given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for Kailasa's e-citizen, where all of Kailasa's services are digitized and offered free to everyone around the world through Kailasa's e-citizen. All the services of Kailasa is made available free, online, free of cost by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the whole world to experience Kailasa from wherever they are. Here we have the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, who is the establisher of more than 1,000 enlightenment ecosystems of Kailasa, as well as the founder and reviver of more than 100 Sarvanyapitams. Here we can see the various founders, various Sarvanyapitams which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has founded and revived. Now we are looking at the torture and murder attempts by state and non-state actors on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has faced intense legal persecution with over 100 false legal cases being filed against him. The persecution has also been carried out through various government mechanisms such as the media, the police, and judiciary, all of which are controlled by politicians. Furthermore, social media has been used to incite mob violence against them. Over 70 assassination attempts and physical assaults on India, on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, have happened both India and abroad. This of attacks on community members, destruction of monasteries and temples, as well as 60 cases of attacks and molestation and rape of women and women monks. These are just a few of the many ways the state and non-state actors tried to persecute, tried to violate the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as well as the mission of Kailasa. But despite all of this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, with his determination, commitment, sacrifice, and integrity, has created the Kailasa nation for all of us, so that all of us can have a safe place to practice and live Hinduism. Despite facing over a decade of intense persecution, including over 70 assassination attempts and physical attacks, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism remains steadfast in his mission to establish the Kailasa, a Hindu nation dedicated to preserving and reviving Hinduism as the world's oldest, peaceful, and long lasting model of harmonious coexistence. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been recognized as one of the top 100 most spiritually influential people alive today by Watkins Mind Body Spirit magazine. Here we can see the various recognitions received by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is a highly acclaimed and internationally recognized leader with numerous awards. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also received multiple awards from the Asia Book of Records. Here we have the award awarded for most number of hours of discourses given by a single person, most number of asanas created and performed by a single person, as well as various other recognitions and awards received by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Now that we have seen the introduction and who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, as well as the various achievements and establishments made by Kailasa and by Hinduism, we are going to be entering into the next segment of today's program, which is the Power Manifestation session. The Power Manifestation session is going to be a very insightful program, insightful segment, where we will be looking into one of the most important gifts the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given for the whole world, and through which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is raising the superconscious level of humanity. In this program, we are going to be understanding the various Shastra Pramanas, which are the scriptural references for the Power Manifestation science. We are also going to be looking at how, by connecting with Swamiji, with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Power Manifestation happens. We will be looking at the Shastra Pramana, Apta Pramana. The Apta Pramana is the reference or the experience of the authorities on Hinduism of these various powers and experiences. And then the Atma Pramana, the personal experience of these powers in Swamiji's own life, as well as the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is a scientific validation for the powers of Paramashivam given in the Agamas. Not only that, but we're also going to be having a live power manifestation demonstration where we're going to be having a Bal Sant of the Nithyananda Sannyas order, where Paramesha Maharaj, the Bal Sant who is going to be joining us, is going to be manifesting the power of consciousness over matter in the power of third eye, giving us a live demonstration of the powers of Paramashivam. So please stay tuned. We're going to be having all this and more after a short break.
A more intelligently connected world leads to a brighter future. An enlightened humanity leads to a better world. During the Paramashivam program, we help people to discover their superhuman possibilities and help them to find and achieve the true purpose of their birth by giving them the techniques, practices, and methodologies from the Vedagamas, the original source scriptures of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the ancient original Vedas and Agamas in all its glory, in a user-friendly way for the modern mind. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is transforming human beings into divine beings, reviving, initiating, and replicating the 463 powers from the Agamas revealed by Paramashiva. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not just giving solutions for every problem man faces, but is making them irrelevant to their lives by transforming human beings into divine beings.
Listen. Any argument presented by your mind, body, your present reality to establish you are not Paramashiva, you are not omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Anything presented to prove you are not Paramashiva is illegitimate. Decide this. This is super determinism. Understand? Anything you declare as illegitimate will lose power over you, will die in few days, few minutes, maybe in few weeks, whatever few days it takes. It will not have power over you. Understand, this is the method for sudden enlightenment. This is the method for sudden enlightenment. It happens by the Shaktipada. Here Paramashiva is sitting to tell you all, you are Paramashiva, you are me, with Shaktipada and Shaktinipada.
The Dvitiya Vijnasa Krama is an extensive and thorough yoga sequence to prepare your body to receive the experience being given by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Through the yoga, which is aligned as per the source scriptures laid down by Paramashiva and the Agamas, you break all the impossibility in your body and in turn break the very cognition of impossibility. The program leads you to go beyond your human frame and limiting human ideas, which prevents you from living your highest possibility.
I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment.
Again I tell you, I am not here to prove I am God, I am here to prove you are God.
Don't wait to become divine. Register now at paramashivoham.org.
Yes, we welcome all the viewers to this beautiful segment where we are going to be understanding the science of power manifestation. Power manifestation is one of the greatest contributions that have been given to humanity from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The science of power manifestation is not some kind of extraordinary happenings that is happening through a bunch of humans, but it is the real way humanity lived thousands of years ago. We did not need the various external energies that are being used like fossil fuels or solar or wind. None of them were needed because the energy of the consciousness could complete any task without having any extra effort other than the simple will of the manifester. The science of manifesting Shaktis is as old as the humanity knows, as the humanity has existed, because it has been given to us from the direct source, Paramashiva. So now we are going to be understanding about some of these beautiful understandings and truths about the science of power manifestation, and ultimately how we can see this, how we can manifest this in our life. So now let's enter into the presentation. So first we have the source. From where do these Shaktis come? Where do these Shaktis manifest, and who has revealed this to us? So these Shaktis are given in the Vedagamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism. Bhagavan Paramashiva has given a detailed way
a detailed description of how humans are hardwired to manifest the 463 plus Shaktis of Paramashiva. The science of power manifestation has been given to us in a detailed systematic science for humans to have access to the various possibilities and powers that are given to us by Paramashiva. And the most important thing is the cognition from where this Shaktis manifest is that I am Paramashiva, and not a cognition that I am a human and I need to reach Paramashiva. Now let's see the difference between the Shaktis and the Siddhis. What are the Shaktis and what are the Siddhis? The Shaktis are powers that manifest from the space of Paramashiva. After being initiated by a guru, by the living incarnation, Shaktis manifest through any human irrespective of their past or of what they're doing in their present. But the Siddhis, on the other hand, divert us from the path of enlightenment, and they manifest on the path of enlightenment when we are striving for enlightenment through performing various types of penance and hardships. At that time, for a few people, these Shaktis manifest and they divert us most of the times from the path of enlightenment. So, this is the difference between the Shaktis and the Siddhis. And one more important difference is the Shaktis are permanent and they always be there to help humanity and they manifest through us to help humanity, whereas the Siddhis don't stay with us forever, and sometimes as it diverts us from the path of enlightenment, it also causes lot of damage and destruction in the humanity. So now let us see the four different methods of how the powers are filtered, time tested and foolproof. So we have the Shastra Pramana, which is the scriptural references for the powers, what directly Paramashiva has revealed in the Vedagamas. Then we have the Apta Pramana, which is the experiences of various rishis and enlightened masters. Then we have the Atma Pramana, which is the experience of the supreme point of Hinduism. And then we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific study that has been conducted on the powers. Now we have to understand from where do these Shaktis manifest. So Paramashiva is the ultimate source from where these Shaktis manifest. He is the primordial divinity and he is unchanged beyond time. He is self-effulgent beyond time, space, and he is the source of the manifest and the unmanifest that we know. From him, this whole cosmos is created, and it is from that these Shaktis manifest. And then there's the ultimate truth which has been revealed by the Supreme Pandav of Hinduism on how the Shaktis manifest. And the truth is, when a powerful cognition is mapped into our consciousness, it manifests through us as Shaktis. So here we have the pramanas for each of the evidences for each of the pramanas. First we have the Shastra Pramana of the power of the third eye, where the third eye, how the Shaktis manifest from the third eye. So it is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 34, where Paramashiva directly reveals to Paramashiva Shakti, to Parvati, the signs of how the powers manifest from the third eye. So here we have the Sanskrit verse from where the direct scriptural reference has been taken. So here the verse says Kapalantarmanonyasa Tishtanmilitalochanaha Kramena manaso dadyat Lakshayet lakshyamuttamam. The translation is, by sitting stably with the mind fixed in the crown center and without any movement, having the eyes in succession to the third eye, one has the direct vision of the ultimate goal, the Lakshyam, and he has the sight beyond the physical eyes and is able to see any place or any object. And he, the yogi, is in oneness with Paramashiva. So here we see how the pramana is giving us a detailed instruction on how the powers manifest from the third eye. Next, we have the apta pramana for how the powers manifest from the third eye. It is from the Mahabharata, the historical event of the Mahabharata, where Bhagavan Sri Krishna initiates Arjuna into the science of the third eye. So the story goes as when the Mahabharata war was happening, Arjuna wanted to have the divine darshan of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, the cosmic form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And at that time, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, initiates Arjuna into the science of the third eye by saying, "You cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I initiate you into the third eye. Behold my cosmic opulence." So after this initiation, Arjuna has the divine vision of Bhagavan Sri Krishna and is able to see the whole form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna and shares it in the 11th chapter in a very beautiful meter. Next, we have the Atma Pramana, which is the experience of the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism. In the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism's own words, he says, in my first experience that I had, I was able to see everything above me, around me, below me, the whole 360 degrees in 10 was able to see, I was able to feel and experience all that around me. So here we can see how the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism has experienced the science of the third eye, and is also, this experience is also in tune with the Shastra Pramana. Then we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific study which has been conducted on the science of the third eye. So when the researchers wanted to understand how the science of the third eye works and how the third eye works, they had conducted the study directly on the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism. They had conducted the positron emission tomography test, which is a test to see how much of energy is being radiated from the brain. And there are various electrodes that are placed around the brain and around the head, and the energy that is being radiated from the brain is measured. So at that time, when the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism had undergone the test, they had seen high amount of energy being released from the center of the frontal lobe, where usually the third eye is depicted. And not only this has been seen in the brain scans of the Supreme Pandava of Hinduism, this same study, the same results have been replicated in the various studies that have been conducted on the Balasans and the yogis who have undergone different kinds of tests like the EEG test or emission tomography test, and the same results have been replicated throughout all the studies. Now we are going to be manifesting one of the powers that manifest from the space of the third eye, which is the power of the consciousness over matter. Consciousness over matter is the power where one is able to have oneness, is able to bring oneness upon an object, is able to feel one with an object, and then the object becomes one with you. And like how you move your hand, the object also response to your command. It is not only on a particular command, or sorry, it is not only on a particular object, but it is the power to command reality to move the way you want. When you are in oneness with Paramashiva, you are in oneness with the reality, because science has found that every second we are emerging from the field of Paramashiva, and it is that field that everything is there in, and it is not separate physical matter. Everything is made, as we know, of atoms, and when we feel one with the atoms that are made in the existence, reality forms the way we want. So that is the science behind the science of consciousness over matter. And today we are going to be manifesting the power of consciousness over matter on an Atma Linga. But before we enter into the manifestation, let's first see the Shastra Pramana, the scriptural reference that tells us about the science of consciousness over matter. This is also from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120, Dharana 95. In this verse, Paramashiva says, Kvachid vastuni vinyasya shanay drishtim nivartayet tadjnanam chitta sahitam devi shunyalayo bhavet. The translation goes, by fixing the eyes on a particular object, one should slowly withdraw the thoughts, impressions, and cognitions that are arising from that object. Then, O Devi, one abides in Shunya, the state of all inclusivity and ultimate oneness. So basically, Paramashiva in this verse tells us the detailed steps of how the science of of consciousness over matter happens. When one is able to have oneness with a particular object, is once you fix your gaze on a particular object, you unclutch from all the thoughts that are happening. Then you will feel that that object is also part of you, and when that happens, we will see the object move. So now we'll be seeing in a close-up camera the Atmalinga and my hand, and we'll be seeing how the manifestation is going to happen. So here we have my Atmalinga, and we have a tissue paper. So the Atmalinga, as we know, is just made of a crystalline material, and no kind of magnet or anything else cannot be used to move the Atmalinga. And this tissue paper is just a brand new tissue paper. So I'm just going to use it to show that there are no strings tied to the Atmalinga. So I'm folding this tissue paper right in front of you, and now I have folded it. Now I'll be placing the Atmalinga on my hand. Yes, so I'm just placing the Atmalinga on my hand. Yes, so I just adjusted the camera a little bit. So you can all see my hand, and you can see the Atmalinga also. And now with this tissue paper, I'm just circling the Atmalinga. So now you can see that even when I'm circling the Atmalinga, there is no movement in the Atmalinga or my hand. So I'm going on top, I'm going in the sides. There's no movement happening in the Atmalinga. So by this we can validate that there is no external strings or anything that has been tied to the Atmalinga. And you can also see me over here, my hands, everything is seen by you. So now I will be connecting to Paramashiva, and we'll be seeing the manifestation happening. So also encourage and call all the viewers who are watching us now to also join me in this manifestation. you can also manifest this Shakti. The science behind entanglement says that when one person manifests the same state and space can be transmitted irrespective of distance. So, if you have recently heard about the twin photon experiment or the double slit experiment, all of these show that the space and the state of one person, irrespective of distance, can be transferred to another person. And as all of us are initiated balasans of the supreme bond of Hinduism, our space is very powerful to connect anyone who's watching us, irrespective of whether they're here physically or they are not even known to us. So take this time to manifest the Shaktis of Paramashiva, and not only the Shaktis of Paramashiva, even if any reality that you want to cause in your life, you can take this time to cause that reality by sitting in the space of oneness with me and with Paramashiva. And when you do that, automatically you will see that you will have to just melt in that oneness with Paramashiva by chanting the Mahavakya, and that is the just secret password to manifest anything that you want. So now let's enter into the manifestation. I will be chanting the Mahavakya, and you can also chant along with me. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Yes, so we have seen the beautiful manifestation of the Atmalinga, standing and falling also. So this power is just to give you a glimpse of how much Paramashiva can actually do in our lives. And the best way and the best place to learn these Shaktis of Paramashiva is in the upcoming Mahaparamashivoham program. It is not like a marketing place where we are just coming and telling just like how you see so many advertisements every day on the TV about various different mind training or self-help programs and all that. But this is the ultimate place where you can learn about how to become Paramashiva. Because usually in the self-help seminars or programs, maximum they teach you about how to be a better human, how to help yourself to become a better person. But here we are teaching you to become Paramashiva. Because when you are Paramashiva, you actually know the secret to how to create the reality that you want. Not just to become a better person, but to help raise the super consciousness of whole of humanity. Now it is time that humans move from the normal state that we are in to the next level, because it has been 250,000 years since we have become humans, but evolved into this species of humans, but we have not evolved into the next state of consciousness where humanity is able to create a whole cosmos where we can sustain the creation of Paramashiva by being in oneness with Paramashiva and enjoying Paramashiva. The Sanskrit saying of Ekoham Bahushyamaha, which is one became many, to enjoy itself, can actually reach its beautiful oneness and beautiful fruitfulness. So, when the whole of humanity rise to that beautiful state of consciousness, we will not have a that we are having today, and whole of humanity can live in more beautiful harmony. And that is why the supreme point of Hinduism, without giving a break, continuously is supporting us with various different opportunities to attend the Mahaparamashivoham program. So now take your time to register yourself for Mahaparamashivoham, because there you will be freed from all these karmic baggages or wealth problems, health problems, relationship problems. Thousands have been freed from all these kind of problems and obstacles, and they are able to create millions now. So now take this time to register yourself for Mahaparamashivoham, and we will be having one-on-one sessions with the Supreme Point of Hinduism, where he will be answering all the problems, clearing all your obstacles every day for 21 days, which is a time of where Mahaparamashivaratri will be happening, where all our karmic bag breakthroughs can happen. So now you can take this time before we move into the next segment to register yourself for Mahaparamashivoham. So now we'll be having a short break, and after that we are going to be learning about the Ekadasha Rudras directly from the Supreme Point of Hinduism. So now stay tuned, we'll be having a short break. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
Mahasadashiva Murti is 25 dimensions together. Understand first this 5 dimension of Sadashiva Murti. Creation, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion, liberation. Actually, you are doing these 5 actions every day. Every day you create some part of your body newly, some part of your muscle memory newly, some part of your biomemory newly, some part of your bioenergy newly. And every day you do sustenance of your body, mind, being. Every day you do rejuvenation. Millions of cells die and millions get newly generated, replenished, rejuvenated. If you just understand this, you will see all, including cancer in your body, will be healed. Just understand this one dimension of Paramashiva. Every cell dying in your body, every cell newly creating in your body, that samhara is not ordinary destruction, it is rejuvenation. Anyone who meditates on Rudra, Lord of Samhara, will be free from all types of cancers. All types of cancers. Mukta, make sure your dad is sitting for the session. I'm not seeing him in the camera. Make sure he's on the camera. Listen. If you want Nitya Yavana, eternally to remain young, beautiful, handsome, meditate on Rudra. Rudra is Paramashiva's manifestation of rejuvenation. So understand, if you understand you are doing every day rejuvenation in your body, not only you will heal yourself from all disease, you will ever be young, energetic, beautiful, because you will not allow the tiredness, boredom to settle down in your body. If you want to be eternally young, beautiful, meditate on Rudra. Invoke Rudra in your inner space. That is why in Hindu tradition, the people who worship Rudra, connect with Rudra, and become eternally young and beautiful are called Rudraganyas. You need only one understanding. You are the one who is rejuvenating. Same way, you should know you are the one who is deluding yourself. Agitation, any form of agitation, any form of perturbed restlessness, agitation is you putting yourself in delusion. Understand? Whenever you are agitated, deluded, restless, powerless, all you need is hold unclutching. Unclutching is the Trishula of Paramashiva. Just hold the unclutching. The greatest Shivastra, Pashupatastra, is unclutching. Hold, unclutching, and settle down from the delusion, agitation, powerlessness. You will simply enter into liberation, moksha. Mukta, you can create a new window for him. You can give one more connection. Doesn't need to get up from the bed. He can, but I want to see him and I want him to see me. You can get one more connection. Listen. All of you listen. If you understand the 5 action, Panchakritya, Srishti, creation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Listen, if you understand all these 5, if you understand all these 5 is happening in your very body, mind, every day, connect with that source energy which is doing that every day in you. That is Rudra. And bow down to that Rudra every morning. Oh Mahadeva, Paramashiva, oh Rudra, you are here. Doing this great rejuvenation in me. I trust your decision. I trust you. Please be intensely alive in me. Keep me eternally young by rejuvenating me. I tell you, listen carefully. Listen intensely. Simple, ordinary connection with Rudra energy, with Rudra who is present. Understand? Rudra is not past. He is present. He is actually just now watching over me and making sure I utter the right word which creates right introduction about himself in all of you. He is sitting right now in my tongue and moving, making me utter right words. So you all understand Rudra properly in your inner space. Actually, if you are going through any disease or your family, especially your own DNA, like your own father, mother, grandmother, grandfather, or any of your own blood relation going through any serious illnesses, just sit next to them. See, if you are going through, sit with yourself and see how the Rudra is working. And because you never recognize the Rudra's work due to your delusion and agitation, you feel you are falling into destruction and death. If you just sit and watch yourself or them going through Rudra, actually you will also understand the power of Rudra. You will even heal them. Hey, Suhas, sit with your grandfather and you try this as a meditation. See how Rudra is rejuvenating in his body and how Rudra is doing his work in his body. One, you will understand the power of Rudra. Not only you will manifest the power of Rudra, you will even be able to help him and heal him and rejuvenate him. I tell you, usually, when you start all these meditation or connecting or these higher manifestations, I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda.
Yes, very beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained to all of us the energy of Rudra, the power of Rudra, how just invoking Rudra in our inner space, having the understanding that we are deluding ourselves. Not only are we the ones who are deluding ourselves, but we are the same ones. Because we are the ones who are deluding ourselves, we are the same ones who can rejuvenate ourselves, give ourselves a new life. When you have this understanding of Rudra in your being, you'll be eternally young, eternally beautiful, and you will have the power to heal any disease, not only in your body, but in the body of other people's as well. In this next segment, we're going to be having the Darshan. Very shortly, we're going to be having the Darshan of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as Ekadasha Rudra, where this experience is going to be cemented in all of us. So now please stay tuned. Cognize, internalize these few couple of powerful cognitions which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has given now. We are the ones who is putting us into delusion, be it in the form of powerlessness, of restlessness. Every time we feel restless, every time we feel powerless, we are putting ourselves into delusion. The same way we put ourselves into delusion, we can rejuvenate ourselves as well. And so with this understanding, with this internalization, get ready to have the darshan of Ekadasha Rudra.
Yes, Nithyanandam, we are entering into the most awaited segment of the day, receiving the Bhava Samadhi version of Ekadasa Rudra, manifesting through the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. Every day, it's been an amazing journey for all of us receiving these divine darshans from the Nijavatara. It is told in Shastras that just for the avatar to descend requires intense yearning from the humanity, planet Earth, and all the beings of all 14 lokas. The cosmos has just responded to the prayers of all the beings in all 14 lokas, and Swamiji has taken this form to fulfill every single being in this world. Today, we are receiving his darshan, the Bhava Samadhi darshan, as the Ekadasha Rudra, to manifest all the powerfulness to face life. So every single day, these Bhava Samadhi darshans manifesting through Swamiji is making us more and more powerful and exploding the very possibility of becoming a super conscious mutant. I'm sure all of you are having extraordinary experiences, and we have been continuously seeing the messages from Facebook, YouTube, and all the other social media platforms where people are getting immensely benefited by these sessions. What really happens in these sessions? Essentially, the entire superconscious the entire cosmos is being mirrored in Swamiji's brain. When Swamiji is radiating the superconsciousness of Ekadasha Rudra, when we connect with Swamiji and when we intensely pray during the darshan, the neurons, the brain neurons of Swamiji radiating the consciousness, superconsciousness, it will simply be mirrored in our consciousness. We'll be able to radiate the superconsciousness, and this directly leads to manifestation of health, wealth, spiritual solutions, whatever we are looking for in life. The power of superconscious energy will simply start manifesting and giving you all a breakthrough in how you approach life. So, and once Swamiji has beautifully shared how when an avatar responds to the prayers of humanity, it is like literally 1 million volts of energy just getting into the system of the human beings. The Kundalini Shakti that gets awakened during this Bhava Samadhi darshan is something extraordinary. So today, let us all get ready to receive the Bhava Samadhi darshan of Swamiji, and I request all the participants to be in the space of gratitude, to really be in the space of gratitude. In Ramakrishna, when he used to give the Bhava Samadhi darshan of Kali, it literally used to take about 6 months for him to settle down, because the Bhava Samadhi darshan is something, an extraordinary, intense, powerful manifestation. So just for settling down from his body, the body used to take about 6 months. Every single day, Avatar is making himself available, making the body to radiate this super consciousness, settle down, and immediately, once again, the next darshan. Last few months, the Bhava Samadhi darshans of Swamiji has been extraordinary, and then this actually showers whole humanity with his compassion to manifest our realities. Let us receive these darshans from the space of gratitude, and having that understanding that the Paramashiva has descended just to fulfill all our dreams, all our goals. He is exclusively happening to each and every one of us. From this understanding, let us intensely connect to Paramashiva, manifesting as Swamiji, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And today we are going to be receiving the Ekadasha Rudra, the ferocious form of Paramashiva, where literally we will be manifesting the power of ferociousness. So, requesting all the participants to get ready for this most awaited moment of the day, receiving the Bhava Samadhi darshan of Swamiji. Now, the power of initiation. How powerful we get, how powerful we manifest things when we are initiated. There was a beautiful story where a person actually walking into a village, and he sees actually a huge compound wall. And as soon as he sees the compound wall, he feels okay, This is a big compound wall. Let me climb and find out what's in the other side. So he's climbing the compound wall and he finds a huge, beautiful garden. He has this beautiful smile. Yes, so lovely to see all these flowers. And he gets down. Next, once again, another person, his friend, he walks into the same path. He sees this huge compound wall. And once again, he climbs up. As soon as he climbs up, he sees this beautiful garden. He doesn't keep quiet. He actually calls his other friend and then says, okay, look, there's a beautiful garden here. And now this third person who comes in, in the same path, walks up, sees this huge, beautiful garden. Now he doesn't keep quiet. He's actually calling the whole village. The difference between the human being and the incarnation is this. He is the one who has experienced the Parabrahma. He is the one who has experienced Paramashiva, Parandhama, in all its dimensions. And he's descended for all of us to experience the same powerfulness. The very act of Paramashiva descending in this planet Earth is out of the sheer compassion for all of us to become Him, for all of us to radiate His energy, radiate His superconsciousness, radiate all the possibilities that He radiates. It's once again aligning back the first principle of let me become many to celebrate Him. So every single day, these Bhava Samadhi Darshans intend to make us, to empower us all to radiate His very energy, to radiate His very superconsciousness. Now, the power of the initiation is such that every time you knock the door, you say, okay, yes, I want to experience this possibility. Paramashiva welcoming you and empowering you with the power that anytime you want, you can simply manifest it. Anything that you want, you can simply manifest it. That powerfulness is the result of all the initiations that we receive. I'm sure, so many of you can relate to this. After every darshan, after every initiation, there is a huge ray of possibility that's made available to you. So the best space from which we can receive these initiations is invoking the space of gratitude. The reason why I'm sharing all of this is only to get us all into the perspective that from the space of gratitude, whenever we receive the initiations, whenever we receive this darshan, literally, all of us are soaked in His presence, in His grace, and in His compassion. We can radiate and manifest all the possibilities that He radiates. So let us get ready for this darshan. Yes. I request all the participants to please be ready and let us invoke the space of gratitude to receive this darshan of Paramashiva, descending as Ekadasha Rudra, manifesting through the Ninja Avatar, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji.
Through this Bhava Samadhi Darshan, every prayer, every intention that you create in your inner space gets manifested as reality. Sit in the meditative space of gratitude because the space that you sit in matters. Science calls this as quantum entanglement, where two particles, irrespective of the distances that they are in, get tuned into the same frequency and they act the same way.
And instantly, as though there is an immediate connection between both of them, instantly both of them respond to each other and are so deeply connected to each other, even though there is no physical contact. You all might have heard about how quantum physics is developing various things based on this. this theory of being quantum, right? Like where there's like no physical touch, but look just at the distance, they'll be able to generate a lot, like the quantum computers and a lot of such things. But what we are going to be experiencing now is way advanced technology than that. And this is time tested too, because this is from the ancient sacred scriptures of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, that after extensive research, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, our beloved Swamiji, has curled out, revived it, and made it so practically applicable for all of us, where all of us just come and sit in the space of gratitude in the darshan and rest everything just like that happens. We immediately get entangled in a quantum way and happening. That's why we have people that are joining us from almost 80 plus countries from across the globe, whether it, and I think literally from all continents of the world, we are having participants who tune in and just sit, and they start manifesting powers, they start manifesting everything. How is this manifestation happening? Because they are being initiated. What transpires during the session with Swamiji is something fascinating. It is not something that all of us commonly know about or can even logically comprehend, given the limited reach of science. Because what we are experiencing, because only your experience can speak the truth for itself. And what we are experiencing now, or going to be experiencing, I would say, within just a few more moments, is something that is way advanced than what any modern day science has ever reached. Anything that you want to manifest in your life can actually manifest by your own inner potential energy. Everything we know runs based on energy, right? Be it even our, like right now I'm talking because there's an energy that is getting produced, which is moving my vocal cords, so I'm able to talk to you. Everything is based on this energy that we are able to observe in a gross form. But there is an inner potential energy that all of us possess. Invariably, every single human being possesses this. Even animals too possess, but because they are not having a straight spine, their Kundalini Shakti is not as much as ours. And this Kundalini Shakti is so powerful. You would have seen this being represented as two snakes in so many different traditions. So many traditions talk about this. But the exact science of how to awaken this is only there with Hindus. And that also, the most safest way to awaken this Kundalini Shakti is there with Swamiji. He has revived this and he has gifted the science to the whole of humanity. It's been more than a decade since Swamiji started initiating us into this powerful Kundalini awakening. And since then, so many people have had phenomenal transformations, starting from walking out of a wheelchair that they were stuck in for 20 years without having their legs paralyzed. There are people who have walked out of their wheelchairs. There are people who have experienced healing from third stage cancer, to even people that have walked out of their deathbed. I have personally experienced this. Every single person that has a Kundalini awaken experiences tremendous healing and start seeing huge career breakthroughs. Anything they want, they get the ability to manifest it. And today, by you being here, you're extremely blessed because you are going to be a part of this process. The right cognitions help you to channel this Kundalini Shakti in the right way. And that is why in just, I think, in another 3 days, we are having the grand Paramashivam program starting. And during this program, you will see how by the right powerful cognitions, right mental setup, and the right initiation and processes, Your Kundalini Shakti would be channeled in such a way that anything that, even the moment you visualize it, you will get the ability to make it into reality. Like literally, you could print it in a three-dimensional way, I would say. So you have the ability, you have that power inside you. And today, by receiving this initiation of Swamiji, you are here going to be experiencing the Kundalini getting awakened. Just sit back, relax, just be in the space of deep gratitude. Experience that unclutched space, the deep gratitude. You will immediately see how your bliss will just shoot up high. Let us all get ready now. It is time. We are going to be chanting the Dhyana shlokas. These are taken from the Agamas, where the Ekadasha Rudras, the 11 different Rudra forms of Paramashiva, are described. We are going to be chanting them now. And I request everyone also to prepare yourself in this deep meditative space, because that is going to help you to receive the darshan even more powerfully.
And
Now,
also, we request every one of you to meditate on each of these forms. We'll be projecting the pictures with you all, for you all, as we chant the Dhyana Shloka. So we request all of you to meditate on their form as we all get ready to receive the darshan. Let us all now enter into the Dhyana Shloka.
Now, first we are going to be chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Bhagavan Shiva Rudraha. Om Shivam Shambhum Pareshanam Sarvalankara Bhushitam Akshamaladaram Devam Tam Rudram Pranamamyaham Karandamakutopetam Pankajastham Bhujadvayam Shivavatanoorupam Vrishni-rupam Shivam Bhaje.
Now, we will be chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Shri Dhiru Rudrani Sameta Mahadeva Rudraha. Ishanam Parameshanam Mahadevam Maheshwaram Trayambakam Tridashashencha Tam Rudram Pranamamyaham Kiritamakutopetam Ambujastham Bujadvayam Mahadeva Manognatam Dhishaktim Rudrarupinim.
Now is chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Rudra Rudraha. Ushana Rudrani Sameta Rudra Rudraha. Om Rudram Rudrakshadamadi Bhushitam Surapujitam Jatamakuta Samyuktam Janma Papa Vinashanam Rudrani Rudravamangam Jatamakuta Shobhitam Bhujadvayayutam Vande Pullakalhara Bhushitam.
The next is a Dhyana Shloka of Shri Ushma Rudrani Sameta Shankara Rudraha. Sarvesham Jivarashinam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Jata Ganga Masayuktam Abhayam Varadanvitam Shankarardha-shariram tam Shankarim Saumya-rupinim Ushma-rupena dhyatvayam Rudranim Mrityuhantrinim.
Now we are going to be chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Ishana Rudraha. Sarpi Rudrani Sameta Ishana Rudraha. Om Vidyanam-adhipatyantam Bhutanam Tamadhishwaram Ishanam Brahmanaspatyam जटामकुटशोभितम् ईशानपरवामान्तम् ईश्वरीं ईप्सितार्थदाम् ईषत्कुञ्चितवामाङ्गीं रुद्राणीं सर्पिरूपिणीम्.
The next is the Dhyana Shloka of Niyudrudrani Sameta Neelalohita Rudraha श्रीकण्ठशिवमव्यक्तं धर्मज्ञं नीललोहितं व्याघ्राजीनाम्बरधरं वनपुष्पार्चितं भजे नीलकण्ठसमासीनां नीललोहितवामिनीं किरीटां हारकेयूरां भुजयुग्मां शिवां भजे.
The next, we are going to be chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Ambika Rudrani Sameta Bhima Rudraha. भैरवं भीकरं भद्रं भद्रमाङ्गल्यदायिनं शूलहस्तं त्रिनेत्राढ्यं रुद्रभैरवरूपिणं रुद्राणीं भीमवामांशां भद्राणीं भद्रभाग्यतां त्रिलोचनवरां वन्दे Ambikam Kulasundarim.
The next is Ida Rudrani Sameta Vijaya Rudraha Sarvatra Vijayi Bhutam Sarvavyapinimuttamam Jatajuta Samayuktam Rudram Rudrakshadharinam रुद्राणीं विजयेशानीं पङ्कजस्थानमध्यगां नीलोत्पलधरां ध्यायेत् रुद्राणीमिडया ह्यवाम्.
Now we are going to be chanting the Dhyana Shlok Bhagavan Kapalisha Rudraha Diksha Rudrani Sameta Kapalisha Rudraha शतद्रुद्राव्रतं भूषं ब्रह्माण्डवलिरूपिणं रुद्राच्चाच्छदपास्ताप्तं रुद्रां रुद्रादिभूदितं कपालमालाभरणं ब्रह्मानन्दफलप्रदम् अर्चितं बिल्वपत्रादै आदिपत्यं मनामयं शतब्रह्माण्डरुद्रेश कपालीशतनुद्रुहां किरीटमकुटां देवीं दीक्षारूपां शिवां भजे.
The next is a Dhyana Shloka of Sudha Rudrani Sameta Bhavodbhava Rudraha पञ्चभूतस्वरूपं तं लोकसम्भूतकारणं भवोद्भवमहं वन्दे भविताश्रयम् अमृतेश्वरवामाङ्गाम् अक्षमालाधरां शिवां किरीटिनीं सपद्माढ्यां सुधासरसुरूपिणीं भवापाहरां सर्वभूतहेतिकरीं पराम्.
Now we are chanting the Dhyana Shloka of Devadeva Rudraha Iravati Rudrani Sameta Devadeva Rudraha त्रिदशेषं तपोध्यातं सर्वदेव नमस्कृतं नादबिन्दुपरं तत्त्वं रुद्रं नौमि समृद्धये इरावतीं रुद्ररूपाम् इन्दिराम् इन्दुशीतलां देवदेवतनोर्भागां रुद्राणीं भावयाम्यहम्. Now, in the same space, let us all get ready in a deep meditative space. Please sit with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes, relax, breathe in and breathe out deeply and slowly. Now start chanting the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine with your eyes open is darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
படிகுண்டு திரும்ப வரான் கலியுக அவதாரம் சிவனோட சக்தி சேர்ந்து ஆள போகும் புது யுகம் பக்தனின் கூரை போக்க எடுத்து வரான் விஸ்வரூபம் கருணையே குருவாய் வந்த நித்யானந்த பரமசிவம் படிகுண்டு திரும்ப வரான் கலியுக அவதாரம் சிவனோட சக்தி சேர்ந்து ஆள போகும் புது யுகம் பக்தனின் கூரை போக்க எடுத்து வரான் விஸ்வரூபம் கருணையே குருவாய் வந்த நித்யானந்த பரமசிவமே கேளுடா சிவ எழுந்து வரான் பாருடா தக தகதி பிடிக்குதா குடி கோட்டை தாண்டி பறக்குதா சிவரூபம் தரித்து வந்து முக்காலம் கடந்து சென்று முடிவில்லா வாழ்க்கை தந்து குலங்காக்கும் சாதா சிவனைய பொய்கள் பல நூறு சொன்னாலுமே உன் புகழ் மாறாது தகதிமி தாளம் இது அதை அடக்கி ஆட இனி முடியாது ஆதி ஜோதி அவதாரம் எடுத்து வந்தவன் சாவ கண்டு பயமும் இல்ல ஆள பிறந்தவன் அழியாத தெய்வ பூமி காக்க வளர்ந்தவன் கொள்கைக்காக எதையும் மறக்க துறக்க துணிஞ்சவன் சைவினமே பெற்ற புல்ல செந்தமிழும் நாவில் துள்ள பாதையில தடைகள் பால தகதிர்ந்து உலகை வெல்ல வைகையே வறண்ட போதும் வாழ்வினமே வீழ்ந்த போதும் வரலாறே மறைந்த போதும் வணங்காப்ப நித்திய துணையும் இருக்க தோல்வியே இல்லை அவன் பாசத்துக்கு ஈடு இணை எதுவுமே இல்லை என் அப்பனே நீ வந்துட்ட என் துக்கத்தை எல்லாம் போக்கிட்ட என் சிவனே நீ வந்துட்ட வேண்டு வரமெல்லாம் தந்துட்ட நீ கடந்து சென்ற பாதையில் தங்க கோவில் கட்டியாளுற ஒரு வரமும் நீ தரணும் உன் மூச்சு காற்றுல வாழணும் வாழ்வின் கீதம் அது நித்யானந்தமே உலகெங்கும் ஒலிக்கும் ஓசை நித்யானந்தமே என்றும் மாறாத சக்தி ஒன்று நித்யானந்தமே கைதையை அமைத்து ஆளும் நித்யானந்தனே படைகொண்டு திரும்ப வரான் கலியுக அவதாரம் சிவனோட சக்தி சேர்ந்து ஆள போகும் புது யுகம் பக்தனின் கூரை போக்க எடுத்து வரான் விஸ்வரூபம் கருணையே குருவாய் வந்த நித்யானந்த பரமசிவம் படைகொண்டு திரும்ப வரான் கலியுக அவதாரம் சிவனோட சக்தி சேர்ந்து ஆள போகும் புது யுகம் பக்தனின் கூரை போக்க எடுத்து வரான் விஸ்வரூபம் கருணையே குருவாய் வந்த நித்யானந்த பரமசிவமே
His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, reviver of Sri Kailasa, the greatest Hindu nation. Conscious music, sattvic beats, MHK. Check it out. Is that all that we know how to do? Making assumptions about life all day and don't forget the night too. Suddenly we think we're bigger than the game. We get caught in ourselves, but at the end we're still the same. Boom, drop, it's gone. The positivity, we forgot that we're a seed. We forgot we possibility. Time's up, folks, time to open our eye. Ekadasha shining bright, time to fly. The avatar is back, alive. The space is open wide. Thrive, don't be stupid, stop wasting your life. Take ownership for your life. Take ownership for your life. Take ownership to stand upright. Take ownership, reclaim your might. Yeah, that's right, reclaim your might. Your might. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Vanvaditam Gagana Sadrisham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Namo Nithyanandaya Paramashivam Jnanamulam Gurur Murti Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa Jnanamulam Gurur Murti Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa. Yes, he's back. The avatar is in the body. That's a fact. It's had to wake up and jump on the track. Ekadasha was given its life back. News say the avatar is under attack, but as a matter of fact, he's safe and protected. He's intact. Let the clouds clear out. Listen to his words, no doubt. Oneness with the Guru, that's the best route. When you listen to his words, you sprout. Bring listening to your space. Erase and see how ignorance vanishes with his grace. Vanishes with his grace. Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Vanvaditam Gagana Sadrisham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Namo Nithyanandaya Paramashivam Jnanamulam Gurur Murti Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa Jnanamulam Gurur Murti Pujamulam Gurur Padam Mantramulam Gurur Vakyam Mokshamulam Gurur Kripa. Time to realize that life is a mirror. Everything you experience, you're the creator.